Hi everyone, we can see some moving objects here. They are all engaged with some actions, right? What are these actions called? These actions are called verbs in English language. Then comes an expression. What are verbs? Let us learn in detail now. Here are few action and other types of verbs such as understand, run, jump, eat, believe, think, forget, smell, walk, taste, etc. What is a verb actually? A verb is a word or a combination of words that indicates action or a state of being or condition. A verb is a part of a sentence that tells us what the subject performs. In simple, we can say verbs are the hearts of English sentences. Let's see the types of verbs in detail now. Basically, we have different types of verbs, namely action verbs, state verbs, main verbs, helping verbs, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs, regular verbs, and irregular verbs. Here we can see some actions such as run, cry, jump, dance, and swim. We can see the physical motion of the subject. These actions are called action verbs. Action verbs are generally physical verbs. They describe specific physical actions. If we can create a motion with our body or use a tool to complete an action, the word we use to describe it is most likely a physical verb, that is an action verb. Let's look on to these sentences. She likes ice cream. I think you are cool. This coffee tastes delicious. She resembles her mother. I don't know the answer. We can notice the verbs in these sentences also, but these words or verbs are not actions. They express thought, situation, emotion, position, sense, etc. These verbs are called state verbs or stative verbs. State verbs do not take continuous forms. Let's look on to this example. I have a car, but we should not say I'm having a car. Let's have another example. He knows him for a long time. We can't say he is knowing him for a long time. We do not use continuous tense for the state verbs. Main verb and auxiliary verb are important parts of sentence. Both of them contribute to make a correct sentence. A main verb is a verb that expresses an action. It gives the major information in terms of nature of the action, for example, write, eat, buy, etc. On the other hand, an auxiliary verb does not give major information in terms of an action. It tells more about the time of the action, not the nature of action. Let's see this with an example. He is writing, he was writing. In these two sentences, the verb writing is a main verb which tells the nature of the action, writing. In the same sentence, the auxiliary verb is and was express the time of the action in both sentences. The auxiliary verb is reveals that the action is being done in the present. The auxiliary verb was reveals that the action was being done in the past. Thus, the main verb expresses the nature of the action and the auxiliary verb helps the main verb in expressing the time of the action. Modal auxiliary verbs are can, could, may, will, would, might, should, etc. It is used to express necessity, capability, willingness, ability, possibility, etc. It shows the mood of the speaker, that is, the attitude of the speaker. Here are a few examples. It may rain tomorrow. We can play keyboard. You mustn't park your vehicle here. Could I use this pen? They may come tomorrow. Thus, to express our willingness, necessity, ability, etc., we use modal auxiliary verbs. A transitive verb is a verb that requires an object to receive the action. It only makes sense if the verb is transferring action upon an object. That means the verb doesn't sound good or work on its own without an object. Here is an example. I enjoyed the party. Here, there is an object to receive the action of the subject. Enjoyed is the action performed by the subject I, and this action is received by an object party. An intransitive verb has two characteristics. First, it is an action verb expressing a doable activity like arrive, go, lie, sneeze, sit, etc. Second, unlike a transitive verb, it will not have a direct object receiving the action. Here is an example. The baby smiled. The baby is the subject here and the verb is smiled. It is an action verb and also there is no object to receive the action of the subject. Hence it is an intransitive verb. Next comes irregular and irregular verbs. In English, only verbs can have tenses. To make tenses, we can change the forms of verbs. There are 5 verb forms in English language. They are namely infinitive or base form, the present tense form, past tense form, past participle form, and then we have the present participle form, that is continuous tense. Let's take the example of a regular verb first. The base form is to help. Its present tense forms are help and helps. It's based on the subjects of first, second, and third person. The past tense form is helped and the past participle form is also helped and the ing form is helping. We say this as a regular verb because the past tense form and past participle forms have ed endings. But we cannot do this with an irregular verb. For example, here we have the base verb to sing. The present tense are sing and sings. The past tense form is sang. The past participle form is sung and the ing form is singing. Here we can observe that there are no ed endings in these forms and also past tense form and past participle forms are different. Hence it is called irregular verb. Hope you all can understand the topic. More to learn, more to practice. Thank you.